What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hooray for the weekend, am I right? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and you're hopefully going to have a great weekend as well. Today we are going to be talking about the Dark Side Mandalorians. If you bought that Lightspeed bundle, you got these guys going at Relic 5. Maybe you bought the Maul Lightspeed bundle, maybe you didn't. We're going to talk about what you can expect with this team. We're going to go over the mods, how you want to mod these characters, because they're a little different than what you would expect normally for teams like this. And then we're also going to talk about what you can expect for this team inside of 3v3 and 5v5. We're going to break that all down in today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into it. So first off, what makes this team tick is the Maul lead, and with this lead, you're getting this Mandalore buff, and this Mandalore buff allows him to call allies to assist. And this is going to be pretty big. You also want to have someone on the team who's going to be kind of tanky, because this puts a Mandalore effect on that character where they are constantly taunting and removing negative effects from themselves. They get bonus defense. It's a pretty important part of this team. And if you've ever done the Proving Grounds battle for Maul, you've probably seen this in effect, and you've been kind of annoyed by it because it takes forever to get through Maul. So that's what you're going for with this team. Maul has characters that are taunting on the team. They take forever to get through. Yeah, it's a little annoying. So you have that leader, and you have the Bound by Hatred unique here with Maul, which has the one Zeta I say is pretty important for this team, because this does give him immunity to stun and ability block, and at 5 Anguish he can ignore taunt effects. Now he does have a couple more Zetas here as well that you can use that can be useful for different teams. For instance, if Maul has 5 Anguish, his Seething Rage will increase the enemy cooldown by 2, and there's also Fervent Rush, but this one I think is very much a luxury thing at this point, because with this it depends on him defeating the enemy target. So you gotta kind of go out of your way to make sure he hits and defeats an enemy target, and that one's a little too specific. It's like with Captain Rex's snipe ability, where he has to defeat the enemy to get cooldown resets. That's the same kind of thing here. So Seething Rage and a Bound by Hatred are probably the only two Zetas you really need on this team, which is fantastic. Like a Zeta-friendly team, that's great. Now, in terms of mods, and you're going to see this with a lot of these characters, this team deals true damage due to unique on Imperial Super Commando, so you want to be going for offense over crit damage on this team. Everything they do is true damage, which means that it's based on the offense of the character. It ignores armor. It can't be mitigated by crit chance and crit damage. You just want to go for pure offense. So that's what I'm going for here. I'm also trying to get him speedy as well, so speed arrow, but start looking for good offense secondaries as well. Offense on the triangle, of course, some nice speed there, and then offense on the cross, again, high speed. But then, yeah, go for speed everywhere else. Try to get percentage offense ability or secondaries as well if you can. But you do want to make sure Maul's going pretty quickly, because Maul's going to be the fastest character on this team. He's going to be moving fast, and once he starts moving, and he gets several bonus turns because of his Anguish mechanic, especially with, I believe it's Seething Rage, he's able to use this again and again, and he deals increasing damage as he uses it again and again. Yeah, every time he uses Seething Rage while he has Anguish, he loses 1 stack, takes a bonus turn. So you basically want to mag dump Seething Rage with Anguish into a character, and then finally end with Fervent Rush, and that will kind of finish off the huge swarm of attacks that you're gonna get with this team at the beginning. So offense, health on Maul. Just kind of get him a little more survivable, and make sure you're stacking some nice speed on him, and make sure you pimp out his damage as much as possible too. So moving on from that, we've got the 2 other characters you're going to use with him in 3v3, and this is going to be a little bit different. Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon, both are going to have tenacity mod sets on them, and the reason for this is that you want to make sure they are called to assist as much as possible. Now you can fudge this around a little bit in 3v3, but we're kind of making a compromise here with 3v3 and 5v5 mods. You can do different mod sets, but for 3v3, you can try to make one of the characters a little more tanky and put like health mods on them. But really, I hate swapping mod sets between Grand Arena seasons. So we're just gonna stick with tenacity on both characters. You want to make sure they both have tenacity so that they don't get dazed, because if they do get dazed, the counter falls apart. So you can see speed on the arrow here for Imperial Super Commando. I'm doing it a little bit different based on what secondaries I pulled here. Normally you want to go for an offense on the triangle here, because you want to make sure he gets some extra damage. but I'm also found, for some reason, the game gave me a lot of high percent offense secondaries on some of my tenacity mods. So you said, you know what? I'm gonna take these lemons. I'm gonna make lemonade, and we've got Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon running these high offense secondaries here. So it really does cancel out what we're looking for here. The cross, you do want to go for tenacity. Again, you want to build up tenacity. Bonus points if you get offense secondaries on the tenacity primary for this. But again here, going for high offense secondaries where we can. Obviously, you want protection on him just to kind of make him a little more durable. And yeah, that's what you're going for. You don't necessarily need a lot of speed on this guy. You can go for higher speed, but what we're looking for is high offense percentage secondaries where you can find them. Obviously, you won't find that on the square here because it has an offense percentage primary. But yeah, speed's not a big thing, but definitely also aim for tenacity. You can see that we are running 147% tenacity on this guy right now. You just want to make sure he's not getting dazed, because if he does get dazed, the counter falls apart. Both Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando are assisting each other, and I believe it's through... No, sorry, it's his other unique upper hand. If all allies were Darkside Mandalorians or Empire at the start of the battle, whenever a Darkside Mandalorian ally attacks out of turn, they deal additional true damage and recover 10% protection. This is what we're going for. This is why you want to have that offense on everybody, because they're going to be dealing a lot of true damage as this goes. And then, of course, Imperial Super Commander and Gar Saxon are constantly assisting each other, where they just keep going. It's a little crazy. I think they assist like 3 or 4 times each. It's a little ridiculous, but I love it. And that's really what's causing this team to tick. And it's pretty much going to be the same thing with Gar Saxon. Now, Gar Saxon has a Zeta on his lead, which obviously you do not need, which is always great. His Viceroy's Vengeance is going to guarantee the assist whenever Imperial Super Commando attacks out of turn. So, or attacks during an enemy turn. So when he counters, he can counter as well. That means true damage. That's great. And of course, tenacity sets on him. Again, speed on the arrow. I do have offense here because I'm running out of offense percentage secondary. So some nice offense here. Tenacity on the cross here. A little bit of speed. A little bit of bonus protection. Some percentage offense again. That's really what we're going for. Percentage offense where we can get them. And yeah, this one, just a little extra tenacity on this mod as well. And some speed, health, protection, tenacity on that one. Nice little stuff here. You can see 148% tenacity on Gar Saxon as well. 216 speed. We're not going fast on Commando and Gar Saxon. We're here to make sure their damage is pretty good. And then we get to Canderous Ordo. Health and offense, just like with Maul, but Canderous's damage is a little bit higher. You can go for speed here. You can also go for offense on the arrow here for Canderous, and I'll show you why with his unique here in a second. But yeah, offense on the triangle, offense on the cross if you can, protection obviously. And yeah, we're not really focusing too much on speed. What I am focusing on here is offense, and this one I could probably swap out for something that could give me, well, no, because I can't get percentage offense primary on this, so, or secondary. So, you know, flat offense on here, rolled pretty nicely, decent speed on that. But yeah, 222 speed, 9,400 physical damage, but really with his Mandalorian, or no, sorry, wrong one. I like a challenge. Whenever an enemy is damaged by an attack, Canderous gains 8% turn meter. So this dude goes fast with all the mass assists this team is getting out. He moves constantly, and because he's moving constantly, he's calling a lot of assists. Yeah, this dude's gonna move a lot, and that is pretty cool. Obviously, if you find a team that can counter bonus turn meter, this can be a problem, but hey, for right now, that's pretty good. Obviously, there's a Zeta here, but you really do not need this, because whenever an enemy gains taunt or becomes death marked or marked, really, there's not a lot going on here. That's more for other teams like Darth Revan, Sith Empire teams, if you ever wanted to throw Canderous in there, which is not a good idea. And when an enemy gains taunt, not really. Also, crit damage up is useless on this because they're not doing crit damage, they're dealing true damage. So really nothing there. And then finally, Jango Fett. So Jango Fett, we are keeping him tankies, and this is purely for 5v5 when you're facing Jedi Master Kenobi teams, but also because he gets a nice little revive mechanic with Bounty Hunter Resolve, so that when he's defeated, he's revived. So this is going to be pretty helpful when fighting certain teams. Like I mentioned already, Jedi Master Kenobi, he eats the instant defeat from Commander Ahsoka Tano, and then he just revives. Commander Ahsoka's instant defeat does not prevent revives like other ones do. So you get this revive with him. You're making him tanky. You can see he'll run a lot of health and protection on him. Just stacking up protection as much as possible on the primaries. If you can get some extra bonus protection and bonus health secondaries, that's going to be pretty good too. Just to make sure he's super tanky. Not worrying about speed on him. He's here to soak up the hits and just keep going. And of course, also, He has 100% bonus defense penetration, which is nothing here because true damage ignores defense already. But he also gets 50% bonus max health. So this is where he's able to kind of revive, and then he's very tanky with this. He does have a Zeta here, but this is enemies on his turn can't be revived, which is not really important. You're not really worrying about that one. You don't need that Zeta. This is really a team that just needs like 2 Zetas, and that's it. That's fantastic. Not a lot of Zetas you're going to need on this team. So, yeah, pretty good in terms of Zetas and mods. What are we looking for in terms of countering with this team? And that is going to be the fun part, and we're going to talk about that right now. What are you looking for? What are you looking for with counters? So here we are with 5v5, and you can already see we're getting some interesting stuff here. Gungans is a low win rate. Geonosians, high win rate. Your Zori, Bliss, resistance teams can work pretty well. Jedi Master Kenobi is an interesting one because if you just look at Jedi Master Kenobi teams, it seems like it's kind of iffy if you're able to win. The one thing that does seem to really counter this team is going to be Padme Amidala, because they're constantly assisting. She's giving that bonus protection on her characters or on her allies. So Padme Amidala really does shut down the Maul counter. General Skywalker can also cause issues as well because of the days and the armor shred and everything he can put out. He can really cause some issues for the enemy team too. But if you take away those 2 characters and you start looking at something more like with Shock T in here, 45% win rate. So it's not a guaranteed win against a Jedi Master Kenobi team, but it's respectable. If you want to really pack out the mods, you want to really push up the relic levels on this team, you take them up to like relic 7+, you really push the mods on these guys, this gets a lot more comfortable. And a lot of these losses that I'm seeing are where we're taking like relic 5 against like relic 9 teams here. Like, yeah, like relic 5 on these guys. This top one's relic 3 on them against a team that's full of relic 7, 8, 9. Like, that's what you're really going for. So if you push the mods up on this team, you can be okay. Anakin can also cause some issues here because as you're killing enemies, Anakin's just using his AoE and just destroying your team. So Jedi Anakin, General Skywalker, and Padme Amidala can cause issues with the Jedi Master Kenobi team. Those 3 characters in particular can make this very difficult. If you don't see those, probably not going to be as bad. I don't know why this guy's going with like Year 12 Darkside Mandos against a pretty solid relic team here against Jedi Master Kenobi. That's a little weird, but yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here. But yeah, you can see the wins. We got really high relic levels on these guys. You know what? I'm going to zoom this in for you guys just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Just so you guys can see what relics these guys are running. So if you are looking for a reliable Jedi Master Kenobi counter here, you are going to want high relics on these guys. So the Lightspeed Bundle took them up to relic 5. You're going to need to push them beyond that if you're looking to beat Jedi Master Kenobi. But beyond that, what else you got here? We mentioned it. The Zori Finn teams with her Zori Omicron. We've got Admiral Raddus here. We got Tuskens, General Grievous, though General Grievous seems to be a bit of a lower win rate. Karth Onasi, this is going to be a new one if you've got the Zalbar teams on defense with Karth. This is going to be pretty good as a reliable counter for that. It's about 50-50 versus Star Killer, which is interesting. Let's see, we've got more Star Killer teams here. Do we just have, yeah, so just Star Killer teams. Some win rates are pretty respectable, some not so much. This is really going to depend on who's going to be in the Star Killer team as well for this. That's going to really kind of filter who you're going to win against with that Star Killer team. CLS is a decent win rate. Your Inquisitors, not so great. Treya just absolutely shreds this team. So it's not by any stretch of the imagination a world beater in 5v5, but you can get some decent stuff here. It's a nice solid cleanup team as well. That's what I'm seeing here. You can clean up some of your Galactic Legends as well if another team can't beat them. They come in, you're at least getting a solid cleanup team against Galactic Legends, if nothing else. So that's not too bad here. Like, look at this, a cleanup against Jabba the Hutt, 96% win rate. So at the very least, solid win rate as a cleanup team. And then for 3v3, they get a little bit better. And I think that's just because 3v3 teams are a little bit weirder, and this team's built to be a very powerful team inside of 3v3 with Maul, with Imperial Commando, and with Gar Saxon. Pretty solid win rates here, easily beating Finn, your clone troopers, General Skywalker 3v3, Admiral Raddus. Solid cleanup again against Jabba. and able to take out Gunkins pretty reliably in 3v3. CLS, Ewoks, General Skywalker again, more resistance. Pretty solid win rates against a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron lead with some of your Jedi. Solid wins as cleanups again against your Galactic Legends like Rey and Sith Eternal Emperor. Does seem to struggle a little bit against your Imperial Remnants with Captain Enoch as well as your Starkiller teams at this point. Just not as much synergy with your team going on, but you know, you are getting some pretty solid use out of them. And here we go again in 3v3. Let's see, what can we get with Jedi Master Kenobi in 3v3? Yeah, you can see, at least as a cleanup, very reliable against Jedi Master Kenobi, but still having issues, and most of this has to do with the mods. This is really about mods and the relics and making sure this team's optimized. If you can optimize the team, if you can get a solid Datacron on this team as well to help with increasing their offense, that's going to be pretty good. And bonus offense on this team is going to be huge with the Datacron because that's really going to help jack up the damage that they're going to do with true damage and assist. That's all going to be pretty important. So you're getting an idea of what this team can do in 3v3 as well as 5v5. Again, not going to be a world beater. You're not going to make a meta team out of this. If you push some things correctly on this team, you can beat Jedi Master Kenobi, but at the very least, reliable cleanup against Galactic Legends. Got some pretty strong power against some mid to upper tier teams in terms of Grand Arena. This is not going to be a bad team. You're not going to regret investing in this team because you're going to get some nice lasting power with them. And depending on different Datacrons we get, this can be pretty good. So yeah, if you're looking for Datacrons, make sure you get a high offense Datacron on this team, and that should really help kind of clean things up there. So that's going to wrap up the video from me. I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys have questions about the Mandalorians, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas? Let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.